Hello and welcome back to 90's Mags, your podcast for all things Newcastle United. Usually hosted by two lifelong Newcastle United supporting buddies, myself, D-Man. Unfortunately, Jefferson can't be here tonight. He's feeling a bit under the weather, so wishing him a speedy recovery. He should be back for the next one, the next episode. But we've got Sticks in his place. How you doing, sir? You good?
Yeah, good buds. Hope Jefferson gets well tonight. Rest up, get himself ready for the next show.
That's it. And don't worry, it's not because we won 6-1 is why he's missing. But he's got the flu. Well, he's under the weather, shall we say? So he'll be back. He'll be back. Big
Yeah.
up, Genius in the building. Hope you're good. Hope you're good. As usual, don't forget like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Help with the algorithm and that. Takes a second to like it, so be much appreciated. But yeah, listen. As usual, we're here to review the latest instalment from Newcastle. Great win, Champions League win on the road. Against Qarabag. They finished Qarabag 1 at Newcastle United 6, Lots to talk about, lots of positives. Very few negatives for once. So it feels good. Feel good to be in positive mood talking about Newcastle. Could get used to it. Listen, 3 away wins on the spin. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Feeling good, feeling fresh.
Yeah. But big up Liam in the building said, no way Jeff needs to be here holding one hand aloft in honour of Eddie Howe. Listen, don't shoot the messenger. Because when he first told me he was ill, that was my first one. I thought, you know what? It's just typical, innit? The moment that Eddie Howe deserves his props, Jefferson goes missing, innit? But he is genuinely ill, innit? He's genuinely ill. We wish him the best, Those in the comments, send him your best wishes. I know he'll be watching, whether it's live or afterwards. So yeah, big up the Red Pitch podcast. Hope you're good. Hope you're good. Yeah, man. Boy, Cav, Arsenal. We ain't gonna go there. We're not gonna go there. We're not gonna go there. But you know what it is. You know what it is. But yeah, like I said, we slapped Qarabag 6-1 on the road. Um, most Newcastle fans thought we'd win the game, but I don't think any thought we'd win it like that. So, Sticks, what was your overall summary of the game itself?
The overall summary is that, like you say, I don't think we expected that, but as soon as I saw the start, I knew that the power and the pace we had was going to overcome what they had to offer. I mean, defensively, they were really poor. I think that's the poorest team I've seen us played against in years, loads of years. But they did on merit, so we couldn't take them lightly because 2-2 against Chelsea, and plus, in their own league, I think they won like 3 on a spot or on a spin or something like that. Away games, home games. Sorry. So I think the summary was we needed that win for confidence for City, and let's go into the City game with all the confidence now.
That's it. That's it. Big up Kenny in the building. He said 3 away wins in a row and Jefferson has quit. Has Jefferson quit? No, 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 Kenny. Jefferson hasn't quit. Yeah. He's just refusing to come on there because Eddie Howe done his job. No, I'm joking. He's under the weather. He's not well. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I know you're missing him, but he will be back for the next one. So don't worry. Don't fret. He hasn't quit. Big up Connor in the building. Hope you're good. Hope you're good. Let's go the proper channel. Much appreciated, much appreciated. But yeah, listen, a great performance, especially the first half. Statistically, I don't think there's been a better first half by any team in the Champions League, maybe ever. Because I don't know if you saw the stats at halftime. Qarabag were on 0 for absolutely everything. Yeah, 0 shots on target, 0 corners, 0 XG, everything. So it's total dominance. Yeah, compared to our stats, we should have been 8-0 up in that first half. So, what I
Yeah.
mean, it was one of those performances. But listen, credit to the boys, credit to Eddie Howe, the way he set out the team. I have to give credit to Big Yinks, who was on the show previously, and he said we would beat them by at least 3 goals. But he did
Yeah,
say
you
we
did actually.
he
Yeah.
did, and we were doubting him because we thought he'd win, but not so comfortably. But
Hmm.
he did say we played typical 4-3-3, which we didn't. I don't care what Eddie Howe says. We didn't play 4-3-3. We played four
No.
two three one, and it worked a treat. Yeah. So credit Eddie Howe for the way he set up the team selection, and credit to the players how they executed it. You know what I mean? So um, we've got a few more comments here. Jeff is right to question nobody's above that, but in a tough season for so many games and squad, Eddie is showing he can move now. Qualifying means most games in the season for us ever. Listen, you have to give him his props. Yep, he's
Yeah.
learning on the job, but he's adapting, and that's what we wanted. That's one of the things we wanted from Eddie Howe, and he's showing that he's not so predictable, especially with certain things. Some of the stuff he still needs to get better at, which we'll talk about, but the change of formation, the rotating the squad, I personally going to give him credit for it. You know what I mean? So some of the squad selection has been forced upon him, but
Yeah.
throughout the season you're going to get injuries. So it's how you adapt to the injuries, and he seems to be doing it quite well. So at this present time, in it anyway. Big up Pont Mags in the building. Said big up 90's Mags. Get well soon, Jeffo. Yeah. And as Connor says, smash the likes, people, man. Smash the likes early.
Smash
Get
those
likes
likes.
up early, man. We need as much contribution as we can take. You know what I mean? But yeah, to the lineup. It was no surprise that he's rotated from the game before. But were you happy with it? Is it what you expected, or were you expecting some people to be in that weren't in, or some to be dropped? What were your thoughts?
I was actually pretty happy with the lineup, actually. The only thing I didn't like is having three goalkeepers on the bench, which I think Eddie is the only manager in the history of football to have three goalkeepers on the bench. But I actually like the lineup, and obviously, my point of view is I like Walter Maida playing as the 9, but he played really well last night. So the lineup looked good. Joe Willock coming in for Ramsey was a bit of a, is that the right thing? But Joe Willock obviously played well as well. I mean, everyone played well last night. So I don't think you can, diss Eddie for the lineup. I think it was quite a strong lineup going into a away game. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like you, I was surprised to see Ramsey dropped, but I can understand it. The rotation. Willett's been playing quite
Yeah.
well as well, and it was good to see that he trusted Voltemade in a deeper position again, as well. Was I surprised to see Gordon up top? Not so much, not so
Mm.
much. But listen, everything else, I think everything else with Bruno not being there, everything else really picked itself. The back line, we knew the back line. Tonali was going to be there as well. So, yeah, not too many surprises. It was more with the way how we played, how we set up. But Giniesta said, I don't agree there, D-man. The team map will even show that Voltemade and Villet played as 8s with Tonali behind them. What Voltemade did for sure had a lot of freedom of possession. So, Giniesta, you might be right. But what formation do you think we started at, or what formation do you think we played throughout the game? Because I don't think it was 4-3-3 like Eddie said. But let me know what you think in that respect. But yeah, I take
Yeah.
your point.
See, man, there wasn't no 4-3-3. Obviously, because the team sat back after, the team Qarabag sat really deep after it. That's why Walter Maida could go right back into where Tonali played and pick the ball up. So
Mm,
it wasn't the fact that he didn't. It started as a 4-3-3. It was a 4-2-3-1 formation. But because the team Qarabag sat back, especially second half, they obviously dropped really deep.
mm.
Just to protect the goal lead, I think they did that, and that's why it looked that way. That was 4-3-3 after.
Okay.
Yeah.
Connor said he's asking me, would Eddie have changed things if all were fit? Um, See,
No.
we don't know. We don't know. Probably not. Probably not. But like I said, injuries are part and parcel of the season, isn't it? So it's the fact that he has adapted. Because he could have done with a flat 4-3-3, and he hasn't. And maybe and hope and also if the likes of Vista and Voltemade were scoring goals at a decent rate, then maybe he wouldn't have changed it. You know what I mean? So I'm trying to give him a bit of credit, man. I'm trying to give him
Yeah.
credit. You know what I mean? So, but let's see some more of these comments. Let's see, we've got anything, nothing. Oh, so Genius has said, I think we played a fluid 4-1-4-1 with a lot of rotation in possession by the five attackers. Yeah, interesting. Well, again, he's adapted. You know what I mean? 4-1-4-1, and if they're moving around, then fair play. And do you think that was on Eddie's instructions? Because some people are saying that the players went rogue and they did like Voltemade did what he wanted to do and stuff like that. I don't really believe that, but
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Each their own, isn't it? And Connor said, he said Voltemade was an advanced 8. I don't know about advanced 8 because he said something like he was playing left centre midfield. He wasn't playing left centre midfield at all. But listen, it's all about opinions, isn't it?
Yeah.
Big up Adrian and Bill said 3 great results in a row, but Spurs and Qarabag were appalling and Villa self-destructed. That said, I'm generally excited for Saturday night. And we'll talk about Saturday night. And I take your point, but we can only play what we're up against, innit? Yeah. And I don't think many people thought we was going to beat Villa. I think a lot of people thought we beat Spurs and Qarabag, but with Qarabag, I don't think we'd beat them quite as comfortably as we did. Maybe Qarabag plays into our hands, but we still got the job done and we demolished them first half. Second half, we took the foot off the gas a little bit and tried to conserve a bit of energy for Saturday night. But it is what it is, isn't it? But to the game itself, now obviously it's all about one man, Anthony Gordon, 4 goals, yeah, and he's now become our top scorer in Champions League history. He's now got 10 Champions League goals for the season.
Yeah.
Ignore the
I
fact
thought he
that
had 9. 9 he has in the Champions
9
League.
or
That's
10. Is it 9 or 10?
9 and 10, I think he has. 9 and 10 games.
Okay.
Wow.
We'll ignore the fact of how many of them are penalties, but you got to score them. You got to score
Yeah.
them. But listen, if you really think about it, apart from the first one, all the goals were gifts. But the first one really impressed me because the run from Dan Burn, yeah, and the outside of the boot assist, the through ball, and he's run onto it, beat the defender for pace, and he's tucked it. Very good finish into the bottom corner. What are your thoughts about that goal itself?
Oh, that was a really good goal. That was the best Patricia play, in the whole game for us. Like, I mean, the ball was beautiful, but I also the run for Anthony Gordon, because he had like 4 yards to make up on the defender, I think so, but to get past him with ease, and the finish was perfect. It was like a real striker's finish, which I think if you give it to Anthony Gordon in the flash, and not him having to think so much about doing stuff, then I think his finishing is better. So yeah, I thought he took his goal really well and all deserved last night. He deserved that goal, but great run from Big Dan Burn. I thought the ball was excellent. It was like an Iniesta ball around the corner, but
they're saying that Dan Burn is playing like Franz Beckenbauer, mate. They're saying he's the next, the second coming. But with Gordon, okay, so Voltamada and Vissa aside, right? Because I don't know if you remember, there was talks from Eddie Howe and Anthony Gordon said how much he likes playing up front.
yeah.
Do you think there is a way, whether it's for us or whether he leaves, whatever, but he then becomes an actual striker, or do you think it's just make do?
I think he misses more chances than he scores. If you understand what I mean. So he ain't. Last night he was clinical. I love the clinicalness from him last night, but I don't think he's an out-and-out striker. I don't think he can become an out-and-out striker until his finishing gets better. But like, if he was a striker and he wanted to be a striker in the summer, last summer we should have not go and signed Wissa and then just put Gordon and Walter Mater as our strikers and go sign a left winger. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I mean, he has the physique and he has the pace, and obviously last night his fast finish shows you he can finish as a striker. And he has the pressing ability, which we've missed this season, right?
Mm.
So I don't know. And realistically, he's been pretty better up front than he's been on the left wing for us this year, actually.
Yeah, true. And it's it's a lot different to when it was it a couple of seasons ago when he was playing, up until this season, to be fair, whenever he played the false nine position, he wasn't scoring any goals. I mean,
Yeah.
very unless it was a penalty. So, he's improving in that respect. His movement off the ball is very good as well. He dragged defenders' head and everywhere. So, he's getting better in that respect. Was it Chow that scored the second goal?
Yeah, Chow had the second goal, crossing
Yeah.
from Trippier. Yeah.
Yeah, good cross from Trippier.
Yeah.
Good header from Malik Chow. Another goal to his catalogue. He took a while to get his first one, and now he just can't stop scoring, it seems. So, you know what I mean? So, he's getting up there. But
we should be scoring more goals in defense anyway, because you look at our back line, you look at the 4 defenders we have in Botman, Chow, Ban, and Shaw. They're all good in the air.
yeah,
They're all. So realistically, that's the threat, but obviously we probably lose Shaw in the summer. But we should be putting, those guys should be getting on more corners and more free kicks anyway.
Yeah, true,
Yeah.
true. And we've got this set piece coach, haven't we? That's meant to be pretty
Yeah.
good. But I think statistically, I was watching a video today. Statistically, we're up there in terms of the threat from set pieces, apparently. So, we just need to start putting some away a bit more. But
Are we fast in that category or second or something?
I think we're second. I think
Okay.
behind Arsenal or something like that.
Yeah.
Like big up Brand. He said Charles on 5 goals this season now, which is not a bad return. Not a bad return at all for a centre back.
Yeah.
So, some strikers ain't even hit that this season. So, what I mean? Not to mention any names, but it is what it is. But was it this one where we scored direct from the kickoff? When Gordon, they've taken the kickoff and we've intercepted. The Gordon's charged through. Was it the penalty that he won, or was it when he rounded the keeper? Listen, I can't remember the chronology.
Yeah. So the third one is when he rounded the goalkeeper because he Walter made a put a ball over the top, which the defender should have easily cleared up, and he made a mistake. And Gordon, good pressing from Gordon, actually lost him. If it was for Gordon to put the press on, then he would have cleared it up. But Gordon got in, went around the goalkeeper, and like I say, there's 2 goals now that is like a striker's goal.
Yeah.
He scored last night besides the 2 penalties, and yeah, that's how the first one. That's the third goal. How that came along.
Yeah. And obviously, the first of the penalties. Now, was this the handball when he rounded the keeper?
So, I know the handball. That's another one.
I can't remember. Either way, the first penalty he's tucked away right neatly. Yeah. Which is fine. And let's be honest, we had so many opportunities in between that. I think he's gone through a couple times. Barnes has fluffed one as well.
Yeah.
We had quite a few. Willock had an opportunity as well. I mean, Barnes and Elanga didn't have their best of games, but what it is.
Yeah.
Not everyone was.
I thought they were off last night. But Gordon, I remember shouting at my screen last night when he missed the 2 chances because that was the chance for his hat trick, so to get those 2. And actually, they were better chances than the ones the first one he finished. Actually,
exactly.
Yeah.
But obviously, when the first of all, the penalty decision for the handball,
Yeah.
What did you think about that? I mean, I know by Champions League rules, if it hits your hand, then fair enough. But that was nonsensical, man.
This is the thing with football nowadays. Refereeing decisions. I'm actually gone off football, not gone off football, but gone off refereeing decisions and the way the game has rules now, like that. It's just ridiculous. Like last night in the Champions League, I guess that's a handball. But as soon as I saw it, I was like, where else he's going to put his hand? Literally, where else can he put his hand? In his mouth? Come on.
Ridiculous.
I didn't thought it was a handball, but then we will take it. We will take it definitely. But it was a bit harsh for me because the way referees are refereeing the game now is actually destroying the game, in my opinion.
Yeah. Hold tight, Connie said that Connie reporting a Bruno update. So let us know what that is when it happens. Liam said not a pen, but in fairness, the ball was on target. So Champions League law says a pen. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. Fair enough. Okay, so the big talking point. Oh, sorry, Connie said Bruno's not back until mid-April. That's what I was expecting, to be fair. But a bit of a blow. But it is what it is. We wish him a speedy recovery and hope he's not rushed back as well. So he'll do his best to come back. But back to mid-April. We'll see.
Just make sure he's here for next season. I know worrying about this. Make sure he's here next season.
Adrian said, was it after the Benfica match that Gordinho, Gordinho said in the interview that he saw his future through the middle? It was one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, when he said, I remember seeing it thinking, bruv, you're on drugs. But Kenny said, I doubt Bruno will play again this season. I think he will play again this season. But time will tell. Especially if we've got something to play for as well. He will make sure he's back to contribute. But I hope he's not rushed back. Remember, it's a World Cup year as well. But he does want some game time before we go to the World Cup. So we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, the big talking point of the game, Gordon's second penalty. Yeah. So my question to you is, do you think Gordon should have given Voltemada the penalty, and do you think Trippier was right to intervene there?
No, Gordon should not give Walter Manor the penalty. Simple as. He's the penalty taker. It's not like he's missing these penalties, right? He's scoring all of these penalties, actually. He's the penalty taker. Trippier could have come up to him, have a word in his ear, and said, "Listen, give it to Walt for his bit of confidence." But he scored on the weekend, so at the end of the day, he's the penalty taker. There's no way Trippier's coming up and telling Shearer to give the penalty to Walter Maeda, or nobody's coming up to say to Cristiano Ronaldo, give the penalty to someone else. And I like that Gordon took the penalty because it showed I want people in the team that are going to be clinical, going to be ruthless. You know what I mean? There's no need for him to give the penalty up. I didn't like what happened at halftime because at the end of the day, I guess Gordon should have showed Trippier a bit more respect. He must have said something that was a bit disrespectful, going off the field. But Trippier, he's just trying to be a leader, but no way I'm giving the penalties up if Trippier come and ask me.
See, at the time, yeah, I thought, you know what, Gordon, you've already got 3 goals. You've got your hat trick. You know what I mean? Give it to Voltemada, who is the striker, or the only striker on the pitch, whatever. And I thought it was a bit in poor taste, and actually, you didn't want to see those scenes at halftime. It was a bit messy. But when I thought about it, I agree with you, because Gordon is a designated penalty taker. He hasn't missed one this season, right? And if you're playing as a striker in the game, strikers want goals in it. They don't care. Yeah. I said if that was Alan Shearer, if that was Harry Kane, Cristiano Ronaldo, they're not giving up that penalty. Yeah.
No.
Voltemada scored at the weekend, so he shouldn't be bereft of confidence. He scored, right? And he missed his last penalty as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I think that people have jumped on about this because they're like, he's not being a team player or something like that. But I don't think that has nothing to do with it. I think probably they've seen in training also that Gordon is the better penalty taker. But I don't think Walt, needs to be taking penalties if Gordon is there. But I get everybody's point that it would have been nice to see him score. I wanted him to score last night too. But at the same time, I thought he was the second man in the match anyway. He had a great game, Walter Maeda. So, but no way Gordon should be giving up a penalty for no one. Not a striker. Not if you play a striker anyway.
Yeah. I mean, and let's be honest, even when Gordon's not on the pitch, yeah, he hasn't taken a penalty. Bruno took the penalty. Was it against Leeds or something? Or it was, I can't remember who he took it to. But there was a game when he took it, and he hasn't been on take on pens in it. So end of the day, you've got to earn your goals in it. You've got to earn your goals. To be fair.
And do you think that then, D-Man, that it probably something they don't see in training? Because if Gordon is the designated penalty taker, and if Bruno's taking the ball for the penalties when Gordon's not on the field, maybe Walt's not burying the penalties in training. Maybe he missing a lot. And there was a few weeks ago I saw him warming up before the game, and he was missing for miles. So probably that's the reason.
They don't trust him. Genius just said, was it Willock or Voldemort that he wanted to take the penalty? Listen, Willock has no place trying to take that penalty. No, I think he wanted to give it to Voldemort, to be fair.
And Tripp said in the interview that it was for Walt,
Yeah. Adrian said, Gordon has been lethal on pens. Until that changes, he's the taker. Yeah. Liam said, no, Gordon's the taker. Would Shearer have given it up? No, he wouldn't. Yeah. And Kenny said Trippier should be giving up free kicks, but he didn't. Yeah. Fair enough. Terrace said Gordon is a scout. They are not known for respect. That's a bit harsh, man. That's a bit harsh. Yeah. Point Mag said it's Mickey Mouse decision making, giving pens to the non-scoring winger and freezing out the record centre forward signing. Interesting. Well, to be fair, let's be honest. If Isak, if that's Isak's taking a penalty. In most clubs, the striker takes the penalty.
Yeah.
But Gordon's a designated penalty straight taker, and he was striker that night, yesterday anyway. So, I have no problem with him taking it. Point Max says, so when Gordon misses and you want a confidence-free Voldemort to step up, is that the idea?
I don't think so.
No, I take your point. Point Max, but you know what I mean. It's right now. Gordon hasn't missed. Yeah, so we'd have to cross that bridge when we come to it. Innit? Gordon's going for the Champions League Golden Boot. Let's be honest, he's not getting it.
Hey, D-Man, I was thinking about this last night, when I see him was going through and he had 4 goals, right? I was like, okay, he's 3 behind Mbappe now. And it's not a bad thing. Like, fans need to realize it's not a bad thing if Gordon wants to go for the Golden Boot or he wants to. Like, next week against Qarabag, I guarantee you Gordon's saying to Eddie how I want to play. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because that'll be silly.
I understand that. Yeah. I understand that, bro. But, like, I can see, just because I grow up watching real strikers that know how to put the ball in that and I know what they want, as a Golden Boot winners and stuff like that. I don't blame Gordon for being like that,
So, all right, I'm going to ask you, and also for those in the chat, right? Mm-hmm. How many Champions League goals does Gordon finish on this season, right? Considering we're going to go through to the next round, whether it's Barcelona or Chelsea, and you never know. We could go through. Well, we won't be favourites, but it's not impossible, if he's fit, he's likely to play the striker role. Yeah. So how many goals does he end up this season in the Champions League? And I put it for those in chat as well. Let me know how many goals he puts in. And also slap a like if you haven't done so far. Yeah. But let me know. What do you reckon?
I go on for 11.
11. And you're saying he's on 9 at the moment. So 2
he's
more.
On 9. You know why I'm saying 11? Because you said it would be stupid, and I understand it would be pretty silly. But I get, mark my words, D-Man, I think he's playing on the second leg. I think he's going to play. I think Eddie will play him because Gordon will go up to Eddie and be like, come on, I have a chance to go run at this. And like, don't get me wrong, he'll think he could get another 4 goals, and I don't mind that in a player. I don't want him to be starting.
He's got 10 goals.
He got 10. Yeah. Oh, so 12. I'll go for 12.
So you're going to go for 12, yeah?
Yeah.
So you're saying, okay, so if you reckon that Eddie's going to allow him to play next week, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
You think he's only going to finish on 12 because we're going to go through. So you think...
No. So if he plays next week, I think he'll get 14, 15, honestly. Yeah, and I just think it will happen like that because with the crowd at St. James Park, with the pressure on, I think he can grab a 2 or 3 next time. But like, I hope Eddie doesn't play him, but I can see why he would play,
Okay. Scott says 11. Yeah. 11 sounds right. But Scott, he's got 10 at the moment. So you reckon he's only going to get 1 more. Yeah. I think I'm going to go, I reckon 13. I think it'll end with 13.
Good number. That's a good number.
Yeah. And that's assuming he plays next week, and then obviously the 2 legs against Chelsea or Barcelona. I reckon. Yeah. I reckon 13.
He broke the record last night, but so come on, like he broke Shearer's record, so like you have to give him something, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Listen, he deserves credit. Listen, because even pennies, you have to score them, innit? Because had he misses them, then he's not on that tally.
And he's burying the penalties. He's actually putting them away.
Yeah. Liam said it depends if he takes pens in Budapest for the final. Can you imagine? Listen,
I hope so.
Let me tell you categorically, we are getting nowhere near that final. We are getting nowhere near that final, but you never know. Podmax asks, how does it work? Chelsea or Barcelona next? Is it a draw or the result of the play? I don't know how it works. I just know we got one of those 2, but I don't know how we find out which one. I guess we'll find out after the second leg, innit? But I have
how did and Chow's missing for the next second leg also. They were saying last night that if Dan Bam would have got booked, he should have got himself booked last night, so it would have reset
I don't
the
know
suspension.
because I think, and I also think if Joe Linton had got booked, he would have missed the next one as well. So I don't know
Yeah,
they
so
work it
so if they would have got a yellow each last night, it would have reset, so they would have missed the second leg, and then it will reset from there.
right. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. Interesting. So listen, it was what 5-0 at half time, right? And
finally,
like
yeah.
I said, statistically, it was an absolute annihilation. Um,
Hmm.
I don't think even Pets Barcelona beat a team so convincingly in 45 minutes. You know what I mean, that's how good it was. Um, Now, obviously, we took the foot off the brake, foot off the gas in the second half a little bit. We also made a couple of changes. They scored their goal. Now, to me, this was a charity goal because for the life of me, I cannot see how they thought that was onside. Yeah, that looked a mile off. Even with the automated computer screen, he still looked offside. He still looked offside. But
Yeah. Did they show that though? Did they show the automated?
they showed it like a way after. Yeah,
Oh,
it
okay.
seemed like they tried to doctor it to make it look close because it was not close. It was
Yeah,
offside. Yeah.
yeah.
But that aside, though, what was Nick Pope doing?
Well, I thought he said in an interview or something, or Eddie said that Nick Pope stopped because he thought it was offside. Yeah, I mean, you play to the whistle as a professional. You play to the whistle as an amateur. You know, if you're an amateur footballer.
First rule,
But
innit? Play the whistle.
but that is the problem. I've said it for 2 years now straight. Nick Pope shouldn't be in our goal anyway. But we need a new goalkeeper, definitely. And like that just shows you the good and the bad about Nick Pope because you could be so dominant in the game and he will make a mistake or he will miss a ball or he will kick it out of play or something. And last night he got beat from that angle and I don't understand how he got beat from there actually.
Yeah, it looked
Uh,
poor. But yeah,
yeah,
listen, if he's not played to the whistle, that's amateur. That's
yeah,
absolutely amateur. And it's a bit of a red mark against it, the fact we conceded a goal. But I mean, it's not the end of the world. But at the same time,
yeah,
totally avoidable. Kenny said his foot played him on. You're eagle-eyed, bro, because I did not see that at all. Did not see that at all. Cuff said if Willock versus Spurs was offside, then this looked a whole decade offside. It's true. It's true. But listen, Murphy replaced Elanga, and obviously he got his first Champions League goal. And he
yeah,
said, he could die a happy man. I thought it was a bit. I don't know if you saw his post-match interview where the interviewer made a point to say, it took a deflection. How do you feel about the goal? I mean, come on, man, just let the man have
yeah,
it, man. Just let him have the joy of scoring that first Champions League goal, man. Like, what would you
yeah.
thought of the goal anyway?
I mean, good goal. I mean, Walter Mayer, he made a great switch actually to the right hand side, and then Matthew picked up and cut inside, and it took a wicked deflection. I don't know what the defender was doing. I think he closed his eyes when he hit the ball. I think, but it was nice for Matthew to get his first goal, and if he can die a happy man now, I hope that he can leave in the summer a happy man too, because I think it's time that he needs to, you know, be going back to Norwich or wherever he come from now because at the end of the day, thank you for your service, but if we go forward with players with Murphy in our team, then that's not progression. But I'm happy for him anyway because he is a fun guy around the club, but we paying too many guys like him and Gillespie around the club that just want to be fun guys around. That's not good enough.
Yeah, I hear you. I
Yeah,
hear you. But listen, obviously, we wrapped the game up 5-1. There was a debut for young Sean Neath. He came on towards the end of the game. 18 years old, gets his debut in the Champions League. What are your thoughts on Eddie bringing him on and his actual performance, his little cameo?
I actually thought he should have come on earlier. I really wanted to see him. There was a few. It was him and Shahar. I definitely wanted to see those two. But when he came on, he had a nice cross for Chow, and Chow just put it wide. But he actually got in there, and he was actually physical. And he looks bigger to me. He looks bigger now, which is You know, like how Lewis Marley just sprung up,
Yeah.
and I think he showed me more in the space of the time than Osula has showed me for a long time. So, and I know, D-Man, you want like Osula, but no, I would rather have Neve than Osula and see the progression.
To be fair, I think Asula, obviously, when he came on, as a striker, he offered absolutely nothing. But when he drifts out wide and plays out wide, he seems a bit more comfortable, more threatening. You know what I mean? I don't think he's built for this striker role, man. I don't think so. And he should have
Yeah,
put. I mean, whether he was unlucky or should have done better with that chance from the Dan Bird header, the
yeah,
rebound. That was his opportunity to put his name on the score sheet. But
yeah.
in terms
I
of
mean,
need, yeah, go on.
I think that you probably hitting something there. Like probably the right wing, is probably his best position. But he didn't do nothing much for Sheffield, and what he had 2 goals in 38 games or something
Something like that.
as, as a striker. So I honestly think that, when we had the offer for him for 30 mil, I wanted him to be moved on just to get that money and obviously Neve showing a bit more. And I like Sean Neve and his goal scoring record is pretty hot, at the youth level, I mean.
Well,
And
yeah, maybe he'll get a few more for opportunities. I'd like to him get more minutes in the second leg.
yeah,
Like Adrian said, Neve did well, and his introduction showed Eddie can't stand it. Asulu in the middle. Asulu is struggling with back to goal centre forward play. He agrees. Yeah, listen, he's better out on the wing where he's facing the goal and he can cut inside and he try his tricks and whatever. Because he's quite pacey, he's quite he's
yeah.
skillful. You know what I mean? Unpredictable. That's probably where he's better. Adrian
And
said,
it was
"You're gone."
Estula wasn't a Eddie Howe signing, it was Jason Tyndall who
Tyndall.
signed it,
Yeah.
who signed Estula.
Eddie looking at him sideways, like, what did you do? Yeah. Bournemouth has said are signing, what's his name, Kruby, for the same amount of money, and you've got
Yeah.
the Sula, bro. Come on, man. What's going on? What's going on? Yeah. What is Richard's injury? Do you know?
Vissa, his cough, isn't it? Isn't his cough?
Age said 30 kg on the waist.
Or
Well, there
55
is
million
rumors.
in the
There is
pocket?
rumors that Eddie says, look, he's looking overweight and needs to trim down. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's all gone quiet now because he obviously weren't in the squad for this one, weren't in the squad for the last one. So you know what I mean? When will he be back? Don't
Hey,
know.
man, that man is, for professional footballer, that man is overweight. I'm sorry.
He does
I,
look sluggish. He
I
does. He does look
and
sluggish.
And that's because he did the same thing like Isak. Nobody can justify the both of their acts. They both did the same thing. As soon as he did that in the summer, I didn't want us to sign him at all.
Right.
But he's come back. He's not been professional enough to get down. But that's also on the coaching staff. They need to obviously go and get him down before playing any more games. They need to get his weight down, get him back firing. And even if he's fully fit, you need to be holding you chance now because you have come back unprofessional. It's an unprofessional act at the end of the day, but you
Yeah.
know,
So, well, Eddie said that Vita got a knock in training the day before Villa game. So if it's a knock, then we expect him to be back pretty soon.
yeah.
Maybe the weekend. But in terms of this game, right? Did you mentioned Shahar and Neve? Were you disappointed that Eddie took too long to make some subs and not to bring in more youth players? Do you think
Oh
he
yeah,
would?
I was screaming at the TV. Actually, I was like, okay, come 55 minutes now. Like, come, please, 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 Eddie, just let me see Sean Neve, Shahar, or even Alex Murphy. I was looking at one. A guy said to me last night they should just bring a goalkeeper on and play up front. Something I should have
But
just
can you
did.
understand why he didn't do it? Can you understand why?
Uh, I I can't justify why he didn't do it. I think it was because they're not training. Because we ain't training in between games. I think he's giving them as much game time so that they get the football in their legs. But like for the likes of Tonali to be on for the whole 90 minutes, but you know what I mean? Come
Yeah,
on.
yeah.
Like,
My thing was Lewis Hall. Why is Lewis Hall?
yeah, and Lewis Hall.
Yeah, that's
Gee,
the one he should have subbed. He should have subbed for me. But
yeah,
listen, obviously, we can all agree that the tie is over, right?
yeah,
So we're going through to the last 16. So it's going to be Barcelona or Chelsea. So my question to you is, who would you prefer, and how far seriously do you think we can go in this competition?
So I would definitely prefer Chelsea, and the only reason I would prefer Barcelona for the fans, but I would prefer Chelsea from a football point of view because we can beat Chelsea, but and they don't when they come up to St James's, they don't really win up at St James's, you know. So I would prefer Chelsea. I actually, at the moment, would prefer PSG actually next round because that's what I would actually prefer.
Yeah,
But yeah, and if we get Chelsea, I think we can. We can go past Chelsea. I definitely have confidence we can go past Chelsea. But that's up to the drawer, I guess. You know, because Barca will pick us to pieces. They got midfielders that will pick past the press like anything. You know what I mean? But
yeah, okay. I
yeah,
agree. I prefer Chelsea. I think we could do them over two legs. I know the first leg's at St James's Park, but I think St James's Park under the lights. I think we could do them. Barca,
yeah.
Liam said Barca down on a blaze of glory or flip them at home and battle away. Ah, I'd like to, listen. I
That
like your
sound good.
positivity, but yeah, I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure. But listen, we have to beat the best if we're going to progress, whatever. So, where do you think we'll as far as we'll go? Do you think we'll go through to the quarterfinals? Do you think we can go further than that? Like, what do you reckon?
Last week, I thought the quarterfinals. And that'd be a great feat in the Champions League to go through to the quarterfinals. You got Real Madrid who gets knocked out at the quarterfinals, but in past history. So I think that'd be a great season in the Champions League. The thing is, I just think it's knockout football, and we are a pretty strong knockout football team. You know what I mean? Over the last 3 years, I mean, you're looking at cup games, and I don't know. It's just a hard one to say, but at home, if you can get a 2-0 lead, but it's going into the second leg, there's something there, right?
Yeah, yeah, I
Yeah.
hear you. I hear you. I mean,
But I also think you need Bruno Guimaraes for those types of games. You know
yeah,
what I mean? But
100%, 100%. I mean, I
yeah,
listen. I think we're capable of going through to the quarterfinals. I don't think. Listen, it depends who we face, and if we was to get there, it depends who we'd face, in it. I think, I
yeah,
think, I think the way you could do, I think you can map it out. I don't know, but yeah, anything past that is a huge bonus. A huge
yeah.
bonus.
But D-Man, you know who we would get the second round?
Who, Man
Who
City?
had-
Yeah, yeah. Typical, isn't it? Typical Man City. And speaking of which, yeah, they're our next
yeah,
opponents in the league. Yeah, so we
yeah.
travel to our fourth away game on the spin. Obviously, we
Hmm.
won the last three in all competitions. We go to the Etihad where we have a dreadful record. We've
Yeah,
been there once already this season, and we got handed our asses handed to us, innit? But
yeah.
this one, not only do we got the Toon fans wanting to win, the Arsenal fans are backing us as well. Yeah. So given the way we're performing, the confidence is there. What are your thoughts on that one? How do you think that one goes?
I mean, if Eddie goes there and doesn't be, like we did in the last game and go there and, just throw our toys at him all the time. I know that we had a few chances, but if he goes there, sets up right, City's there, their defense is there for the taking for any team in the Premier League on their off day, but on their off day.
Well,
And
even
we're
even,
seeing,
even with the signing of Gahey and Diaz is back.
yeah, I watched Gay. See, that's the thing. Those two players have kickstart him and Semedo as kickstart Man City's season. And this
Mm.
is where, sorry for Arsenal fans, but they've let him in now. And when Man City and Pepsi blood, that's it.
That's what I'm saying. This is and they couldn't have picked better opponents to play against this weekend, considering the history. Considering the history, you know what I mean? So,
And
oof.
that is our only thing is that City, and every time we play him in Marmouche plays, he rips us. He rips us to pieces. And if we got trivia on that right side on the weekend, which we have, but I can't see us getting out with much. The most we can hope for is a 2-2 draw, but we have to go there with an actual stamp our mark on the game, kick somebody. That's the fast thing, and start using the dark arts to beat City.
Do
You
you
know what I
think
mean?
we set up the same way we did in the last couple games, or do you think it goes back to that 4-3-3 and short it up a little bit?
No, we have to set up like the last few games. The guys' confidence in playing that way now. They have, and I see when we defend, we have those two big banks now of defensively, like across there. And you need to be playing Elanga for this game. Elanga is you outball for this game on the weekend. Elanga and Barnes have to start this game. And Gordon, he's going to play Gordon up front, but
You
you know
reckon?
what I mean? Yeah, because he needs to outball. The thing is, the most crucial thing is, if we don't take our chances, we ain't getting nothing out of this game.
So, all right. So, if you think he's going to set up the same way, right? The Voltamada conundrum, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
he played well in the last two games in that
Yeah,
deeper role, right? But a lot of people saying he's being wasted because he's a number 9.
yeah.
He score goals. That's his best position. What's your take on it?
Well, him playing in the hole,
Yeah,
I don't like it because I know him for Stuttgart and I know him for Germany. I don't like it, but we haven't got the players to actually. We ain't got the players to complement him or support him enough. We haven't got the full, And the thing is, if you don't press in the 4-2-3-1, then you kind of. I just in between with Walt now is the problem is that he looks really good on the eye, but he needs 2 to 3 seconds to hold the ball. I've said
yeah,
this whole season, and in the Premier League, you don't get that time playing up front, but you know. And Mark Gahey will eat him for breakfast if he want to be up front on the weekend and he wants 2 to 3 seconds, to hold the ball. So you have, even that I want him to be up front, it's just so hard to see him. It's so hard to see him starting in the deeper role. I think they should play him in a deeper role against City. Let's see how he can do in there because we're not seeing him against a big team yet playing that role.
true. My only concern is with that formation because even in the Champions League game, I think someone put in a WhatsApp group that they were, although Qarabag, they very rarely threatened us in that first half. They were getting behind a couple times. Yeah, if they had any quality, they might have created something, but they were getting behind a couple times,
Yeah,
bypassing midfield, whatever. Now, City, if they do that, they're gonna punish us. Yeah.
yeah,
So I don't know if he. I think he may go back to the 4-3-3, the standard 4-3-3. Now, if he does, then Voltamada, I don't think starts. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So I don't know if this is the one because he could drop Voltamada for this one and bring him back for the second leg of the Champions League, whatever. But I don't think he's gonna be because if you look at it, Villa was FA Cup game, free hit in it. Like you're not really
yeah,
if you went out, not the end of the world, right? This one against Qarabag, you kind of all right, they're there for on merit, but they're the weakest team left in this Champions League, in it. So you can kind of experiment in that respect. When you're
yeah,
going up against a team like Man City, or one of the best teams in Europe, and you come against the best manager in Europe, and you've got Haaland, you've got so many attacking threats, Turkey, Bernardo Silva, Semenyo. You know what I
yeah,
mean? I don't know if you can afford to be that offensive. Yeah, I mean, I'd like to see it, but
yeah.
I'm not sure
I
if
mean,
he's going to do it.
okay, so you keep the same formation, D, and how if you just swap Walter? See, that's the thing. Dropping Walter Maida for this Man City game is just going to knock him backwards, dude. Because he'll say to himself, like, I can't play in the big games. This
Yeah,
looks like simple to me. Then you would say, how about we just replace Ramsey with Walter Maida in the starting 11 from the Qarabag game? You know what I mean? And then that looks a bit more, compact and a bit more energy in there and,
yeah.
a bit more guile in there in terms of like midfield battle,
See, this is it. And I think because Ramsey didn't start this game, I think he
Yeah.
starts the Man City game. So
Yeah.
and I think he goes with Tonali, Ramsey, and Willett like he did against Spurs. I think
Yeah.
that's the lineup he's going to go through against Man City. I'm 99% sure that's what he's going to go through. By any injury, I
Yeah.
think that's what he's going to go for.
And
But
I think you're probably right, Buds. But I've been hearing people saying that, like what we did when we beat Liverpool last year, when we played Liverpool in the league, he
yeah,
did that. He went with that silly formation. And then when we came to the cup final the week after, he he changed it, right? So he could be playing those games again because we got City again in the FA Cup, right?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So
But that's when you could do the. I think you could play the Voldemort thing because again, you're not expected to do anything. If you go out, fair enough in it. But we're sitting in 10th in the league, yeah, because we need points, yeah.
yeah,
So I don't think he can afford. Well, he might think I can't really afford to especially goal difference. If you get tonked, yeah, you might go below Sunderland again. You know what I mean? So I just don't think it's.
do
But I might be wrong.
you think that like if we're going up against City on the weekend, that like okay, should we just go all out for it, be compact, change it? I just don't see us how we going to be. And you saying the three in the midfield, when we play three in the midfield against City, we get smashed in their butts. With full Foden and them, they play these little passes around the corner, and then Tonali gets drawn into it, and then he's out of position. And I just is fearful when we ain't got the two holding midfielders in there.
Yeah, I hear you, but ah, I don't know.
The hard
Again,
one, isn't it?
yeah. But like I said, maybe he does the same formation, but he puts Ramsey instead of Voltemada for the
Yeah,
energy. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
we'll see, man. We'll see. But
yeah.
if you had to, give me a prediction, what do you reckon?
So I went for 2-2 actually.
Okay, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, and I went for 2-2, and I think Gordon and Barnes will score the goals. Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
2-2. I don't. The fact that Arsenal fluffed their lines and City smell blood. I think I think they beat us. I don't think it's gonna be a Tonkin, but it's a 2-1 or a 3-1. You know what I mean? I think we score, but I just don't see us getting anything from the game.
Yeah.
Listen, we could do Arsenal a massive favour. You know what I mean? City could be
Well,
over
all of my Arsenal friends are like banging on this now, dude, this weekend, because if they win on this weekend, I'm telling you, I've been all for Arsenal for the season, with my Arsenal friends to telling them like, y'all got the league, you'll look strong. But if this weekend comes around and we don't do nothing for them, I honestly think they will bottle this league.
Yeah.
Honestly. Yeah.
I still tip Arsenal to win it. But I just don't think it's going to get the gap's going to close. The gap will close this week. I think. I just
They
don't see
still,
us doing
they still got Chelsea away. Then they got no Spurs, Chelsea, and they got City away.
it.
You
Yeah,
know what I
yeah,
mean? But
true.
and I
Yeah,
and I just feel they probably they need a favor from us, but we don't normally win there.
yeah,
Simple.
exactly. We never win there. Adrian
Yeah.
said 2-1 to Newcastle. Listen, we got to stop this Gordinho nonsense, bruv. Gordon and Elanga, yeah. Liam said 1-1 confidence builder. Listen, that's not beyond the realms of possibility. So I reckon, you know what, 1-1 is realistic, but I just don't think we'll have enough. You know what I mean? But if we have to get something, it will be 1-1. I think. Junior said a 3-1 City. They had a week of rest. Yep, they did. They're well rested,
Always,
and like I said,
always.
they are not saying they will, but they're capable of winning every game to the rest of the season. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
one of
I want to say to you, D-Man, how about how good it is when you own by you know, a big time rich owner like Man City, right? And
yeah.
Newcastle have a richer owner than Man City. How good does it feel, Massey, for City fans that they can go into January transfer markets and buy a Gahey and a Semedo or whoever they feel like, and we can't sign a right back to cover Kieran Trippier, who's 35, 36 years old.
It's
Like,
it's
It's getting pathetic. PSR or SCR, whatever it is pathetic, honestly.
Justifiable.
Because
We know why it's there. It's there to protect the Man City,
yeah,
protect Liverpool,
yeah,
the Arsenal. You know what I mean?
yeah,
It's all a joke. It's all a joke. But listen, those in the chat, please smash the like button.
yeah,
Just
please.
if you're in there, just please smash the like. It's much appreciated. We're not going to be here for too much longer. But listen, I wanted to get your thoughts, right? So we're sitting currently in 10th in the league.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're going to go to the last round 16. We're in the FA Cup, but a tough draw. Now, in terms of the league, where do you think we finish and what's acceptable?
So what I said to you guys, you and Jefferson, the last show I was on, I said 10th, but we
Yeah,
were on a really downward spiral,
right.
remember? And I said bank in the middle. And then we're 10th right now. So what would be acceptable for me personally, would be 6 for me, because that is where I think we should. That's where I want my team to be after this disappointing season,
Yeah. Mm.
But where we will finish, oh, we're going to be touch and go for 7th, I feel. But
Yeah.
yeah,
I reckon 7th. I think we'll take 7th. It's. I think there are there are 6 teams in the league better than us, but I think
yeah,
Liam says 7th as well.
yeah.
So it's yeah. I don't know. It's going to be interesting. Lots of twists and turns to come.
And
We
D-Man, you need Bruno, man. Bruno is a key to a lot of things for Newcastle United and for
But
for us as fans.
yeah, we've got to learn to win without him because he's not going to be here till mid-April, and we've got a lot of
Yeah.
games.
So Bruno, even getting him back in the dressing room for some kind of way, dude, he means so much to our club. He is our leader, and people don't realize how many games that man has played since he's been bought, since the takeover. That man has literally played without getting long time injuries all the way through 4 years straight. So you need those big players to step up, and this is where Joe Linton going to be really key for the next couple of weeks.
Him and
And
Tenardi,
Finale. Those two are definitely got to be big, and you need people like Ramsey and them to grab the opportunity.
You mentioned Joe Linton. Does he come back in at the weekend?
Well, the form before he went out on injury, he was back to his old self. So,
Yeah.
I would definitely play him on the weekend.
Yeah, you might rest Willock. Willock can bring
Yeah,
on Ramsey. Yeah, yeah. You
but
never
then I
know.
don't think he has the legs right now, does he?
Right.
He's waiting for over 6 games,
Yeah.
6 weeks.
So maybe
So,
take a while to
six
bed him in and
games.
stuff. Maybe take a while
Yeah,
to bed him in. So, all right. So before we go, up to now, who is your 3 top performing Newcastle players this season?
Lewis Hall will be my number 1. Bruno will be my number 2. And I would have to go for Malik Chow, I reckon.
Okay.
Those 3, it was touch and go between him and Barnes, really.
Yeah.
Um, and Gordon probably be down on that list too, but he's only starting now.
Right.
We're almost at
Okay.
the end of the season. But
Okay.
I think without Chow, we would have been conceded a lot more goals.
Yeah.
Without Bruno, I don't know where we would be actually. And then Lewis Hall is England's number 1 left back.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. If Tuchel doesn't make him number 1, then that
He
is
has
so
to.
disappointing.
He has to.
But Tuchel is the one that gave him his debut, isn't it?
Yeah, gave him his debut, and
Yeah,
he called him up
Falcon,
to
right?
and he called him up to the England squad. And he got injured. So they
Yeah,
had to call up to Skelly. So yeah, it'll go. It'll go as long as he stays
yeah.
fit. As long as he stays fit.
Who's your
Gini,
3?
Genius has said Hall, Chow, and Bruno. I can't see past those 3. You know what? Like, and my best friend, he gives me stick because I don't rate him highly, but I think how he's performed in centre back, Dan Burner's got to be in the shout as well. I know he's been injured for a bit, but before his injury, when he had that run in the team, he was really good. Since he's come back, he's been really good.
Yeah.
He's probably not my top three over those three that you mentioned, but he's probably the fourth one, I reckon. Probably the
But
fourth
then
one. But
Barnes been there too, but he's had a great season, you know.
Arthur's had a good season, but
Yeah,
again, maybe it's recency bias, but he's kind of
yeah,
disappointed at a couple of the last few games when he's been on his
yeah.
favorite on the left. You know what I mean? So, but there's different factors to all that as well. But
But
Barnes has done good. He's done good.
you know why fans just be like, Dan Ban, you know, Dan Ban will always give his all. But you know what is hampered Dan Ban being higher up on like even in the top three and stuff like that performance is that when we haven't got a left back, Eddie puts him out there and he looks like a school kid out there.
Oh yeah,
You
and
know what I mean?
that's
And
not his
that's what
fault. But
hinders him.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, he's good at left back. He should never be playing left back at all.
No.
But
No.
needs must.
Yeah.
But yeah, listen, we'll leave it there.
Yeah.
Thank you for those
Hit
in
the
the
like.
chat. Smash the likes on your way out. Leave a comment after the show as well when it's on the YouTube. Thank you, Javoy. Thank you
Hey,
for
cheers,
joining.
Steve, for having me on.
Yeah, and like Jefferson will be back for the next one. Hopefully, wish him a speedy recovery. I know he'll be watching. Oh right, yeah. Miley had a purchase. Miley was in a shout. He's out.
Oh, jeez, I forgot
Yeah,
about Lewis. Yeah.
got a man. Got a
Don't
man.
forget Lewis.
Yeah, that's it. But yeah, listen, we're back for the City game. By the way, I don't know if anyone in the chat, but I bagged my ticket for the derby for the Sunderland game, so I'm taking my son up there. Got that one locked and
Nice.
loaded, so all good, all good. And yeah, look out, we're gonna have a special guest hopefully soon. Hopefully for the Sunderland match as well. We have a special guest on the show, so keep your eyes peeled for that one. But yeah, smash a like on the show, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Tell a friend to tell a friend, and we'll see you on Sunday, same time. We're out. Peace.
See ya.